There are some common beliefs about grant writing that may not be completely true or may even be entirely false. Let's talk about those today so that you have a high chance of submitting an application that will win the award you're applying for. The first myth is that you can apply for a last-minute grant easily and on short notice. There's a reason this myth exists, and it's because some applications are released on what can feel like a very short turnaround time. Recently, I had a client ask me to write a grant. They received a notice of funding with a 2-week turnaround. It was a multi-million-dollar award. Because this sometimes happens from funders, it can feel like organizations have to turn around grants on short notice. And we pulled the application together. It wasn't the longest application compared to some multi-million-dollar awards. But even though there are times that you may not have a lot of time to work on an application from start to finish, you should have some thoughts around what you're going to apply for during the year, what your priorities are, and what opportunities you're going to pass on. The truth is, you should have a strong plan in place for the types of grants you will apply for and the uses of the awards well in advance of a potential application. This gives you the opportunity to put together a quality application when you have a grant provided by a funder with a short turnaround time. By the way, you can go to the link in the description below and get my framework for writing winning grants. It'll walk you through the 4 key things that you need to have in place to build a strong application. The second myth is that you can reuse or repurpose grant applications. This myth exists because some content is evergreen. For example, your mission statement doesn't change, or at least not very frequently. And some of your programs and historical successes will be something that you point back to. You'll talk about things that have happened in the past in the application. So there is some content in every grant application that can be used in some sense or to some degree. For example, you may get funding for a specific program from multiple funders. So you'll talk to different funders about that program in multiple different ways. The truth is, your application should be molded to the funder that you're applying for and very specific to the questions that are being asked of you. If you're repurposing from a prior application, at least take the time to reword or rephrase it. This is an area where AI can provide some support and help you regenerate existing content. But to be quite honest, if you're applying to the same funder multiple years in a row, they will have seen your prior applications and they will want to know that you've put some time and effort into the new application that you're submitting. Myth number 3, grant money is easy to get. This myth exists because getting that winning award notice is really exciting. And if you aren't the one writing the application yourself in your organization, you might not be fully aware of all the work that it takes to put together a quality application. In addition, grant money is money that you don't have to pay back. It's not a loan. It's money that you get to keep if you perform on the requirements and obligations of the grant well. So it can feel like it's easy money to get compared to other processes of selling or marketing or getting out there to bring in funds and revenue for your organization. However, when you're applying for your first grant or first few grants, one of the common questions that you'll see in grant applications is, who else is funding your organization or this program? If the answer is no one yet, you're going to have to build strong relationships to bring in those first few funders. It's about trust, and most funders don't want to fully fund your program. They want to see some diversity in funding so that they know that you'll be sustainable should they shift their funding to other priorities in a few years. The truth is, grant money is easy to get when you have a track record of success and trust with the funder. Statistically, when you're applying for a new grant, you may see win rates around 25 to 30%, meaning that more than half of your efforts won't feel successful at first. However, when you're getting and applying for repeat funding or working with a funder that you've been invited to apply for or have built trust with, those win rates can be upwards of 65%. You have a better chance of winning with a track record, and those funds can start to feel like easy money to get because you've built a snowball effect into your work. And then the fourth and final myth for today is that it is okay to put stretch goals into your application. And this myth exists because funders often do want to see how their money will make an impact, either on your organization's overall capacity or for the larger problem that you're trying to solve for your community. Articulating a clear impact beyond your current track record is important. They don't want to necessarily fund you to just keep doing the same thing. However, the truth is, while your goals should be a stretch for your organization, after all, you are getting more money and new money to do something different. They don't want to fund a stagnant organization either. They do need to be realistic. Refer back to the previous point. You want to build trust with the funder to make those future applications easier to get. If you aren't performing on the awards they've already given you, that makes that trust harder to maintain. Your goals should be clear. They should require some stretch, but they should also be realistic and make sense to the funder and to your organization. You're the one that's going to have to execute on that award. The ultimate truth is that grant awards can make a substantial impact to your organization, but just like any other area of life, you get out of it what you put into it. Make sure you have a clear, thoughtful plan and a strong strategy in place, and that you're working hard at putting together quality applications that make sense and match the funder's priorities. Your chances of winning will increase dramatically, and as you get better at this and do more, grant money will begin to feel more like easy money. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful so that I can continue to make more content. Profound Hope Industries works with mission-focused organizations through a 4-pillar system that helps them win new grant awards, build capacity, and attract funding to fulfill their mission. Go to the link in the description if you'd like to connect with us further. Thanks for watching.